The first quarter of 2025 have been going pretty well till Paris Blockchain Week, and this was a very expensive lesson that I learned about how to secure your digital assets in a safe way that prevents you from losing them, like how I did through a hack. So long story short, I lost $20,000 worth of crypto because of a phishing site, and let me share how that went down so that you guys don't have to. So for those of you that don't know, there are two ways to hold your crypto, and the first way is self-custody, which means that you own the access to your assets, and this is not dependent on whether a platform provider is down or allows you to move your digital assets or not. So the other way is done through a custodial. So in this case, if your digital asset is on a crypto exchange, the crypto exchange is then this custodian. And for example, if you're using Coinbase, then Coinbase is the custodian of your digital assets. But the problem here is that if Coinbase goes down or Coinbase deletes a token, then you lose access to your assets. So these both methods do have their pros and cons that we can go through in a later video. But now back to how I got hacked. So in the Web3 space, most of us will use Telegram as a main communication application. And chances are there are many different groups out there that one would access and use depending on the community that you are engaged in and the type of work you do. So for me, I'm in the startup space, and most of the group that I'm in are new projects or communities that are looking to raise funds, to go to market, and all these different things in different regions. So there was one group in particular, and there was an account in there that put out a post about them looking to partner with someone in APAC to build the startup community. So naturally for me, it was something that's related to what I do, so I dropped him a DM, and that was when it all started. So the whole thing happened over 2 days. So while we were chatting about the scene in the crypto space, the Web3 scene, the startup space, what they were doing and what I was doing as well. So this went on for 2 days. And then the person suggested to have a call, and they sent me a link for Kakao Teams. So very naturally for me, going into calls was not something that I'm very opposed to or something that is very foreign. So me being me, I clicked on the link and it prompted a download for Kakao Teams. So not suspecting anything, I went ahead to download, but then nothing happened afterwards. So I went back to the guy and said, hey, there's something wrong with the app, I couldn't go in, I couldn't even open the app. And he said, hang on, let me double check. And that was when I started seeing transactions getting sent out from my hot wallet that was linked on my desktop. And this was when I know I downloaded something wrong. So as I saw crypto moving out of my wallet, I felt sick in my stomach, and it felt like my stomach was getting twisted, pulled and stretched apart. And it's not a great feeling, and I hope that no one ever has to go through that. So the whole saga only took 5 to 10 minutes, and my wallets were completely empty after. They left me a couple of dollars which I could barely do anything with. So in total, what I lost in my wallets was about 4 to 5 Ethereum, I lost a couple of Solana, and I lost quite a bit of USDC, and everything totaled up to be roughly around 20,000 US dollars.
Yes, it's so painful.
So throughout the day, and I was in Paris back then, I was constantly checking my wallet, hoping that it was just a dream. Because losing money through a hack was something that I never thought would happen to me, because I've been in this space for so long, and this was the only time that it happened, and I'm experiencing it in real life. So after a couple of days, I came to terms with it, and thinking back, there were some lessons that we can all take away from this particular ordeal. So the first lesson here is don't believe everything you see and question it until you're convinced. So in my case, I could have, should have, and would have been the one to send out a Google link or a Zoom link, and that is something I'm more familiar with, and instead of downloading a new chat application. And these days, something that I learned is that there are options for you to join a call without any download at all, which means that you can join a call through your phone on a browser, through your laptop on a browser as well. But being the me that is so silly, I didn't think too much, and it's on me for being so gullible. So the second lesson here is that risk is everywhere, and educate yourself well. So with everything that's related to money, there are potential pitfalls where people will try and will definitely try every means possible to get your hard-earned money from you. So just being in that money or investment space, this all carries some risk in way, shape or form. And bad players out there might even target a certain group of users because they are just more susceptible to such schemes. So for me, I managed to find that bad player in another Telegram group that is talking about Web3, and it was more like an investors group, and he was using the same tactic to lure other people in. So basically what this person does is bait people into coming onto a call to discuss some partnerships, and that is how they get you to download the program that kind of drains everything that you have on your laptop. So the second part of the question here is how to educate ourselves. So if you are in a community or with a group of friends, information should be shared openly and freely. So by letting others know what you have seen, or what you have heard, or what other people have been through will give you and your community around you some knowledge on how the upgrades or the updated scamming tactics are. And the last and final lesson that I got out of this episode is never think that you will not be a victim. So sometimes when we are in a certain space or a certain industry for a long enough period of time, we feel that we know enough that prevents us from getting into schemes or scams. But most of the time, the ones that get targeted the most are exactly these people. And yes, although I've been in the scene for a while, we've got the knowledge, we know what's happening, but it's because of this we get a little bit too complacent in some way, that we let our guard down, and that's how we allow or we give permission for these bad players to enter. So now the big question is what's next for me? So after this episode, I got myself a hot core wallet in some way that we can talk about next time. Basically, it's a wallet that requires you to scan a card before a transaction can be confirmed, and even if you're logged into the wallet, you still need that card to sign the transaction. So with regards to the money that's lost, I guess it's just back to hustling to earn back that money. So I hope my experience getting scammed or hacked, or whatever you guys want to call it, shed some light on how these bad players operate, and hopefully none of you will go through such an experience. So this kind of brings me to the end of today's video. It would greatly help if you guys could drop a like, subscribe and share this. And as always, I hope you guys stay safe, invest safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.